Hi everybody, this is Jason, owner and CEO of Kicksite. I hope you're doing well out there. It's really a privilege for us to support today's event. This is just an excellent opportunity to learn from some of your peers, some of the experts in the industry. I think it's a great illustration of the way our industry has come together to really survive this COVID moment and actually get better because of it. So let me tell you a little bit about Kicksite. Kicksite has served the Taekwondo industry for almost 15 years. And in the past 3 months, I think they've been probably the most challenging, but also the most fulfilling years or moments we've ever had. We have been in the battle with you to see you get through this. One thing that I would ask you to reflect on is consider the different businesses and you as a business, the way you've been there for your customers. And also the way the businesses you work with, the way they've been there for you or not been there for you. Here at Kicksite, we serve over 1,500 martial arts schools. And we have taken our responsibility of being there for you very serious. And from the minute this hit, we had a swift action taken where we were getting together, brainstorming, planning for what was to come, producing instructional videos, increasing our support hours, ramping up our capacity as more and more people were using our services remotely. I just would impress upon you that the company you work with, especially when it comes to software, should be more than just the software itself. It's really the people behind the product and their willingness and desire to battle with you through this. I want to share a story, and this is a story of a school down in New Orleans, a school owner, Taekwondo school that had been with us for almost 10 years. And at their high point, they were at over 200 students. After Katrina, their school took a pretty significant hit that really ravaged their economy. And then once the COVID thing hit and they had to close their doors, it was like students were calling them by the minute because many of their parents and themselves had been laid off. So they called us that very first week of shutdown and announced to us that they would be closing their school that week. Heart-wrenching conversation, and similar to so many conversations we had that week. You can probably relate. They were scary times. You may have been subject to it, or maybe you knew someone who was. But I think this is a very telling story because it represents the battle that we're all in together and the fight that our industry has shown. So in this particular school's case, the next day they called and they said, you know what? We're going to make some changes. Don't close our account yet. We are going to see about moving locations, downsizing, keeping our overhead a little bit low. Great story, great moment. And I said, you know what? Then let us show you some of the tools that will serve you right now. So for example, in that interim period, in that very early on period, we knew that communication would need to be high. We knew that you had to retain students. So as your business went into protection mode, we went into protection mode with you. And as an organization, let me tell you what we did. And this particular school is a good example. We communicated often with you, and we encouraged that you communicate frequently with your student base. And we illustrated the tools that we had available. Automated messaging, text messaging, email messaging. We knew how important it was to keep students engaged, and communication was so important. This particular school jumped right in, started to reassure their students. The second thing we knew was coming was on-demand training, virtual training. And so we encouraged this school start to use Kicksite's video library. This couple was doing Zoom classes like so many of you had, but she was also then uploading those videos to Kicksite so that her students could train virtually. So we saw some initial, while it was a difficult time, we saw some initial positive moments across all 1,500 plus of our customers. So beyond that, we really looked at other ways we could serve our industry. And so we started to produce instructional videos. We started to increase our support hours. We were taking calls on the weekends and in the evenings. Not that we made a habit of it, but during those times we put all effort behind being there for you. We produced webinars, weekly business guidance. We really tried to over-communicate to get you through that difficult time. I'm happy to report that by and large we're hearing great things. And we're in a position now where businesses, states are starting to open up. Here in Kansas, over the past couple weeks, Businesses are open, and I'm happy to report I went into a martial arts school just this past weekend in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they had a packed house. So things are looking very promising. Not all states are in that position, but it's so good to see states are starting to open up. At Kicksite, we know we also have to evolve, because now virtual training, communication was important, education was important. Now we've got to evolve, and we've got to be ready for the next phase, getting our schools ready to reopen, being able to limit class size. So what has Kicksite done in those instances? We've conducted several webinars, and I invite you to sign up. We will be sending a link so you can review these webinars at your leisure. And these webinars were on ways to make sure you're ready to reopen, templates for disclaimer forms you can use. We did a webinar just this week that talked about positioning your school as a solution with this COVID epidemic, to make sure that your audience realizes getting healthy is one of the best things they can do to control the epidemic, control their likelihood of really getting sick from this. We had one of the leading clinical experts with us this week in Kansas City talking about how important it is to get healthy. Well, you are a solution to a population that has largely ignored their health. So please pay attention to that webinar. We'll be providing links in this video where you'll be able to follow up and get all those documents and resources that we've provided. So let's move into, where are we now? What do things look like in the next 3, 4, 6 months? I think this is our new reality for quite some time. It'll probably be a mix of virtual training. You'll still need to do on-demand training, limiting class sizes. We've produced integrations with some of the top scheduling features, Calendly to be exact, to allow you to limit your class size when you can open back up. And the other thing we're in the midst of doing right now is ensuring that Kicksite is making sure that none of your students slip through the cracks. One of the things that was evident with COVID is it exposed businesses that weren't financially ready. And when a business doesn't have cash flow, it's going to die rapidly. And we saw it firsthand, unfortunately. So we really want to make sure that Kicksite's tools make it evident to you that all of your students listed, you can quickly identify who's current on their payment, who's past due on their payment, who doesn't have a membership. My point is, we aren't sitting pat, and we're moving with the times, and we are wanting to position you like never before. So I want to just thank you for the opportunity to present. I want to just tell you that I heard from that school owner that I mentioned at the onset. She just messaged me yesterday to say that their business is open. They've got a good number of students coming in, and they're actually signing people up. So that's why I'm hopeful, and that's why we're committed to giving you everything you need to be successful, whether it be through our software, our people, or the resources. So check us out at Kicksite.com. You're welcome to sign up for our newsletter. And until we meet again, thank you so much for having us. Take good care.